Imagine one day you're going through your usual routine. Alarm clock, coffee, commute. Same old, same old. But then, out of the blue, you find out you've won the lottery. Not just a few bucks, but enough to turn your whole life around. With that winning ticket in your hand, would you still drag yourself to work? Would you still want to sit through another day of meetings and deadlines? Or would you call it quits? We don't know about you, but this lucky man from Victoria quit his job on the spot as soon as he found out he had won a fortune. Let's see how he did it. Number 10. The Victorian Resident. In the small town of Bradford in Victoria, something amazing happened to a regular guy. On a day like any other, he checked his lottery ticket and discovered that he had won a massive 2.5 million USD in the Tats Lotto. It was on September 2nd, 2023, during the Saturday Lotto draw, and his life changed forever. But there was a little problem. His ticket was not registered, so he didn't get the money right away. The lottery officials from the lottery had to verify if it was truly his before handing over the massive check. Now imagine the suspense, knowing you might have won millions, but having to wait for confirmation. When the confirmation came through, a wave of emotions hit him. He was overjoyed and almost in disbelief, but one thing he knew for sure was that he wanted to remain anonymous. He had his plans of turning his life around, but he didn't want others to know about his newfound fortune. The first thing he did was something that many dream of, but few dare to do. He quit his job right then and there. He said that he wanted to embrace a life where the 9-to-5 routine no longer dictated his days. He wanted freedom, and to get that, he decided to retire straight away. But this man wasn't just thinking of himself. He planned to use a portion of his winnings to secure a better future for his children and for others around him. How'd he do it? Well, first of all, he decided to pay his children's mortgages, and then he claimed that he would do amazing things for people around him. But he's not the only one. Many others have also hit the jackpot, quit their jobs, and started enjoying life in a whole new way. Number 9. Denise and Robert Scar. Denise and Robert Scar are a couple from the UK who found their lives turned upside down in the best way possible in the spring of 2015. They hit the jackpot, winning a whopping £6.3 million, which is 7.8 million US dollars. We can only imagine how much disbelief and joy they felt in that moment. Of course, it was a moment that set them on a path they had only dreamed of before. They were just like any other couple. Robert worked at a quarry, and Denise was employed at a local hardware store. Their life was routine, filled with the everyday hustle. But that all changed on one fateful Saturday when they discovered that they were millionaires. Just 2 days after winning the lottery, their decision was clear and unambiguous. Both Denise and Robert handed in their resignation on Monday. The daily grind at the quarry and the store was behind them now. They were ready to embrace a future they had only talked about in what-if scenarios. And what was their big dream? Traveling the world. They'd always wanted to go on a cruise to see new countries and experience different cultures. But like many, they were trying to figure out how to afford it. Now with their new fortune, the world was their oyster. Denise and Robert Scar remind us all that sometimes life gives you more than you ask for, and when it does, it's okay to leap toward those dreams you've shelved for someday. It took winning a $1 million jackpot for the Scars to quit their jobs. Surprisingly, others might just need a few $100,000 to do the same if they really hate their job. Number 8. Jasmine Rooney. Jasmine Rooney, like many of us, had daydreamed about the moment she could boldly walk up to her boss and quit on the spot. But unlike most, Jasmine actually got her chance to turn that fantasy into reality. It all happened in March 2017. Jasmine was enjoying her lunch break when she decided to try her luck with an online lottery. It was a spur-of-the-moment decision. The website was offering free entry, so she thought, why not? Little did she know, those few clicks would change her life. Moments later, her wildest dream came true. Jasmine found herself staring at her screen in disbelief. She had just won $362,000. Now, you might think that's not close to $1 million, and that's true, but it was more than enough for Jasmine, especially considering her situation at work. She'd been having a tough time with her boss. The same day, she had a heated argument with her boss that left Jasmine frustrated and fed up. But now that she had won the lottery, she knew exactly what to do. She told her colleagues that she wouldn't be returning, and she handed in her resignation right there. The money wasn't enough to support her forever, but it wasn't about the money for her. She just seized an opportunity to step away from a job that no longer brought her joy. As for Jasmine, everyone knew about her rocky relationship with her boss, so her colleagues weren't exactly shocked when she finally called it quits. But when this next lotto winner handed in his resignation, the office workers thought he was joking. Number 7. Dean Wames. In 2019, a 24-year-old Dean Wames was working at Amazon's transport team. His life revolved around shifts and weekend work. But on July 30th, everything changed. That day, when he came to work, Dean checked his lottery numbers. It was 7 a.m. in the morning. And guess what he found out? He had won. Not just some bucks, but a whopping $4.4 million US. Realizing he had hit the jackpot, Dean decided he didn't need to work anymore. He told his boss he was sick and went straight home. This was more than a sick day. It was the start of a new life. The following day, Dean went back to his job, but not to work. He went to quit. At HR, he had to fill out a form. There was one question about why he was leaving, so Dean decided to tell the truth. He wrote, "Won lottery/retirement." The HR staff couldn't believe it. They thought he was joking or pranking the staff. But after hearing the whole story, they couldn't believe that their own colleague was now a millionaire. Dean's win was huge. He won $4.4 million US, but he decided not to take the lump sum. He opted for the annuity option. This means he would get £10,000 every month for 30 years. That's around $12,000 per month. Dean had plans for his winnings. He wanted to help his brother, who has severe autism. He also had a dream of becoming a screenwriter. He even studied it at university, but he never had the chance to follow that dream. Now, he could. Even Amazon heard about Dean's win. They were happy for him, and they joked that maybe one day he could create blockbusters for Amazon Studios. Dean had the luxury of leaving a decent job, but for some lottery winners, their windfall saved them from dangerous and demanding jobs. Number 6. Julie Leach. Julie Leach used to work at a fiberglass factory. The job was hard, dirty, and tough, but she had no plans to leave because she had no other option. Then, one ordinary day during lunch, something extraordinary happened. Julie decided to check her Powerball lottery numbers just for fun. What she saw next was unbelievable. She had matched all the numbers. Just like that, Julie was $310 million richer, and in that moment, her world turned upside down. Right away, Julie knew what she had to do. She quit her job on the spot. No more long, hard days at the factory for her. This win was her ticket to a new life. Julie had always bought lottery tickets, never really expecting to win. But now, with a huge win in her hands, she started making plans. She wasn't just thinking about herself. Julie dreamed of buying a piece of land, a place where her family could come together, a place for her children and grandchildren to enjoy. She also wanted to pay off debts and travel with her husband. So that's what she did. Finally, she was away from that gruesome job and living her dreams. Julie's incredible luck was hers alone, and she was the only one who quit that day. But what if the whole staff wins and the whole staff leaves? Number 5. 9 co-workers. This is a story about 9 co-workers from the assembly floor at Guelph's Linamar Corporation. They were good friends with each other and enjoyed placing bets. They had this casual habit of buying lottery tickets. Everyone would give $5 and the group would buy lottery tickets hoping they would win one day. Their rule was simple. They would only play when the jackpot was over $50 million. They were aiming high, not settling for the small wins. Before their life-changing moment, the group had only tried their luck 3 or 4 times. In fact, 2 members, Musi Gledi and Ella Nicole Cabrera, had just joined the lottery pool that very week. Granadino, who was one of the group members, first heard the news that the winning ticket for the latest draw was bought in Guelph. She got excited thinking it could be them, so she quickly called Fernando Meneses to check their numbers. At first, Meneses thought they had won a mere $6,000, but after a second scan, he realized they had hit the jackpot. It was hard for the news to sink in. They checked and rechecked the ticket. They even doubted that the app was telling the truth. It wasn't until they checked the winning numbers one by one that they finally accepted the truth. They were jackpot winners. So the first thing they did? The very next day, when all 9 of them came to the factory, they came with their resignation letters. It was a bittersweet decision, but the win opened doors to new opportunities they couldn't ignore. However, it wasn't the first time a group had won a jackpot and decided to quit together. Number 4. Four Californian coworkers. Back in 1994, four colleagues at Irvine Insurance Company in California found themselves in an unbelievable situation. They won a whopping $20 million in a lottery jackpot. These four were more like a family than colleagues, which is why they'd always play the lottery together. So when they won it big, they decided to share their good fortune. They took home $6.8 million from the total jackpot. This meant an annual payout of $85,250 for the next 20 years before taxes, a sum far greater than their salaries at Fidelity where they worked. After the win, the four coworkers decided to quit. In fact, their departure was so significant that the Irvine branch lost an entire department overnight. Their boss half joked that they might come back after the novelty wore off, but these four had other plans. The amount they won was significantly more than what they earned at Fidelity, so why would they return? Two planned to spend more on their weddings and extend their honeymoons, making those special moments even more memorable. Another winner was ready to embrace her creative side, planning to finish writing a novel and jet off to Paris with her husband. The fourth winner dreamed of building a music studio at home to record blues music. None of them hinted at a return to their old jobs. However, they promised to visit only to help train new recruits. While the coworkers just left their office after winning such a big jackpot, this next winner ditched her whole family and all her friends. Number 3. A single mom. On Mumsnet, a single mom shared her amazing lottery win story anonymously. She said that she hit the jackpot some years ago, winning a huge 14 million pounds, which is around 17 million US dollars. This life-changing moment happened unexpectedly at work. When she heard the lottery numbers on the radio, she thought that they sounded similar. So she checked her ticket and it matched the winning numbers. She was so shocked, she nearly toppled out of her chair, but she had to keep calm. She couldn't let her coworkers know. So she went through her day as if nothing had happened. She didn't even call the lottery office until she was safely home. Once her win was confirmed, she celebrated with her son over dinner. Now, unlike the other winners on our list today, she didn't quit her job right away. She stayed on for a few more months before deciding it was time to leave. She also revealed the best thing she did with all that money. She said that she treated herself to 50 Mulberry handbags and bought her dream house. But with the money came some tough decisions. She ended up ditching some friends and many family members. They became too greedy and felt entitled to her winnings. It's obvious that she doesn't regret winning the lottery, but she does wish she hadn't told anyone about it. The expectation that she owed them was too much. Now she looks back on her win with mixed feelings. It changed her life for the better, but it also showed her the true colors of some people around her. These days, she keeps herself busy by volunteering 3 to 4 days a week. It helps her not to get bored and not miss her loved ones. These winners were lucky to win enough money to quit their boring jobs. However, this next person was not so lucky, neither in the lottery nor in the job department. Number 2. Natalia Escudero. Natalia Escudero is a journalist from Valencia. Back in 2019, she was in for a surprise while covering Spain's El Gordo, the world's richest lottery that has a total prize pool of 2.24 billion euros or 2.43 billion US dollars. During the live coverage, she discovered that she too was a winner. El Gordo is famous for its extravagant prize money. That year, the winning number was 26590, and Natalia had a ticket with that number. The prize for each ticket was a whopping 434,000 US dollars. But as Natalia would soon find out, the prize distribution of El Gordo can be quite complex. In her initial excitement, Natalia happily declared on camera that she wouldn't be going to work the next day. Her colleagues back at the station were happy for her too. They were laughing and smiling at her unexpected win. At that time, everyone in the crowd around her was holding their lottery tickets and were jumping and chanting. Natalia took a moment from her own celebration to interview another winner. She asked what she would do with the money, and the woman shared her plans to pay off debts. There were many other winners in the crowd. In fact, at her reporting location, 40 tickets with the winning number had been sold, sharing a total of 17 million USD. Natalia even pulled the woman who sold her the ticket into a hug, all while champagne was spraying around them. Now, it's time for some second-hand embarrassment. Natalia's excitement was short-lived. She soon found out that her share of the jackpot was only 5,000 euros, or 5,400 USD. Oops. You see, in Spain, a full lottery ticket costs 200 euros or $217, but most people buy a decimo, or a tenth of a ticket, for $21. Natalia's winning number was only worth a tenth of the full ticket's price. So when she appeared the next time on TV back at her old job, she made a zipping lips gesture. She was indicating that she had not won big, just a small amount. She even tweeted an apology on her Twitter account, feeling disheartened that her reaction might have overshadowed her 25 years of journalistic experience. If she had really won, Natalia would have quit her job forever, just like our next winner. However, he didn't want to do it alone. He wanted his wife to do the same. Number 1. A 64-year-old winner. This is the story of a 64-year-old from Arkansas who won it big this September. This anonymous man won a staggering $5.75 million US. His winning strategy was that he chose a special set of numbers, including his birthday, the age gap with his wife, 2 old street numbers, the age he was when his father passed away, and his son's birth year. He was at work when he got an email about his win. At first, he couldn't believe his eyes. He doubted the good news, so he turned to a friend and then his boss for confirmation. His boss affirmed that he was indeed a multi-millionaire. It was his boss who told him to go home and share the incredible news with his wife. His wife is a hard worker and a bit of a workaholic, so she wasn't keen on quitting her job just yet. She was aiming for semi-retirement. But our winner had different ideas. He wanted her to leave her job and fully embrace the freedom their big win offered them. We don't know what happened to them because the couple stayed anonymous, but we do know what other Mega Million lottery winners did with their money. If you want to know how the lottery changed their lives, watch our next video.